I was not paid by any company or government to make this video. I do not condone, support, or promote the regime of North Korea in any manner whatsoever. Please do your own research.
North Korea.
North Korea.
The propaganda.
Kim Jong-un, his regime, human rights, prison camps,
the ballistic missile,
Otto Warmbier.
It was a moment for the history books.
I am not a journalist. I am just some kid with a consumer camera who was lucky enough to gain access into the most isolated and controlled country in the world. This video series is a product of that. Alright guys, so welcome to another day here on the east coast of North Korea. Just having a coffee on my little balcony of the hotel here. The beach is behind me there. Arrived here last night, like you saw in the last episode, from Pyongyang, the capital city. We've got like a little bit of a drive this morning, and then we're going to check into our new hotel, I think, and then we're going to explore around that area. I think there's a few cool things, including going to a local beach and seeing what the locals do at a beach. I don't know what to expect, but maybe I can get some good footage out the side of the window and it won't be extremely bumpy like it has been. But ready for another day, ready to see what North Korea has in store, because I'm sure it's going to blow my mind again. So our first stop of the day was at a temple, but to be honest, I didn't get that many shots. I'm sorry about that. I was more interested in the farmers outside the temple. I got these nice slow motion shots of the farmers here. You can see the tractor, looks like a very old tractor. Also another farmer using a cow to pull him around the field. Again, made me think I was living in the 1940s. There was literally nothing to tell what I was seeing apart from the early 20th century. And then we jumped back in the bus and headed into the city. So we've just arrived at the Hamhön Grand Theatre. This is where they hold events. Famous singers and things will come here. So this is the second biggest city in the DPRK. Population of 800,000 people. So have a look. There's heaps of kids around here and they're saying hello and things, like yelling out, really confident, which is different to what we've seen. Normally the kids are a bit more reserved, but these kids are just screaming hello from the other side of the road. It's pretty cool. There's some military action going on over there, so I can't film it because you're not allowed to film the military, so pretty action-packed. I'll try to get some of the kids saying hello, but not sure how it'll go. Hello! Hello! What's your name? I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. Hello. 감사합니다. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My name is
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I got a couple of interactions there on camera. One of them was a bit zoomed in, as you saw, but still cool. Super nice kids. They're really shy, but once you start talking, they open up a bit. Pioneers Day is coming, so these kids are practicing for Pioneers Day. Year's Day is, if I understood it correctly, it's like the first stage of the political system or something. I know I'm completely not saying this right, but it's something that exists in socialist countries. They start at this age, and then if they want to, they can go on to be a part of the Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il party or something like that. I think this is mandatory, so all kids have to do this. Once a day they have a parade, which is in 6 days, so luckily we're here on this day. We got to see them practicing, so this is rehearsal. In a few days' time, then they'll have the grand ceremony all over the DPRK. I think we're heading off now, going to another coastal city, I think, about 2.5 hours drive. So. So after driving for a few more hours through the countryside, we arrived at North Korea's biggest agriculture university. Most of what we were shown were pictures of Kim Jong-il, because he actually came here in 2009, and so there's pictures of his visit all over the university. You can see here we had a tour guide, and she was so proud, and she kept talking about Kim Jong-il's visit also. This photo here is actually of Kim Jong-un on the right hand side. This is the second take of the photo because the first take, apparently the man on the left wasn't smiling enough. So Kim Jong-un told him to retake the photo and smile more. I don't know how true that is, but it was coming from the guide's mouth. So they showed us more around the university, really nice grounds. And this triangle on the ground here is where Kim Jong-il stood. They never wanted to forget that he was here, so they put these little tiles down to remember exactly where he stood. After the university, we jumped back in the bus and drove past heaps and heaps of locals, farmers. You can see in the rice paddies here. Like I said in the last video, it's rice transplanting season, so it was just packed with people in the fields here. You can see these big factories in the background. I would love to have visited more factories, but we were only allowed to visit that one in the last episode, the fertilizer factory. You can see these villages in the distance here. We didn't visit these villages, sadly. It would have been interesting. You can see some mosaics here, driving past some locals sitting in the shade there. Driving through the mountainous landscapes of North Korea over rivers. Pretty stunning countryside. Alright guys, so I've arrived in my luxury apartment here on the beach. But this room I've got to myself is massive. I've got like a living area here with a couch and a desk. Look at this view. We're just stopping in here for a couple of minutes, then we're going for lunch. Nice bathroom. Driving here was interesting. Like there's well at least the roads we followed, there's just farmland everywhere. No matter where you go, they're using all the land up for farming. And there's so many workers in the farms. There's just thousands and thousands and thousands of workers no matter where you drive. And later we're gonna go to the beach. Before that we're going to the railway station. But before that we're going to lunch. Anyway, let's just do it. There's so much happening as per usual, so let's get into it.
So, is this fish or is that like a cabbage?
Most expensive is South Korea.
I can smell it.
So we just arrived at the train station. So I think we're going to go in and have a look. The train station wasn't anything too exciting. The train was beautiful, but that was about it. Apparently why this is so important is because Kim Il-sung actually visited this train station and took this train, and his seat is still covered to this day to preserve it, and the guides were just telling us how noble he was because he rode in third class. You get the picture. These kind of stories are really integrated into the tours. Okay, so arrived at the beach. There's some cool diving boards and things in the background. So we're gonna go and try those out, but apparently this is foreigners only beach. There's some locals over in the distance there, but we're not really allowed to kind of go over there, so maybe we'll see some out in the water, but I think it's just gonna be our group here. How is it?
Any rocks? That's not too bad. Can I run without breaking my ankle? Yeah, yeah.
Run, dude.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, top board.
Alright, so all finished off on the beach. Like 5 or 6 of us swam out to the diving board there and we all jumped off. I think it's like 10 meters. Last thing I expect to do in North Korea. I didn't bring a GoPro or anything, so I couldn't film it, but it was a lot of fun and nice change of routine and pretty relaxing. Anyway, I think we're going for like a group walk soon or something, and I've got like a group of 10 people watching me laughing. Are you laughing?
Don't forget to subscribe.
After the beach, we stopped in this little art gallery for a few minutes. One of the group spent 800 euros on a painting, and then we headed to the pier. So now we're just taking a walk along the pier, checking out the locals. Lots of locals setting up fishing line and fishing, and then big fish nets over here. This is the main seaport of the DPRK. So in the distance there's the port, but we can't go over there, but we're going along this pier here, and this is where all the locals are eating and fishing and things. It's really interesting. So this is one of my favorite parts of the whole trip, walking along this pier and just seeing these locals go about their daily life, fishing and crabbing and having little barbecues on the side of the water there. I didn't get too many shots of that because I didn't want to be too imposing with my camera and putting it in the locals' faces. Some of the locals don't mind the cameras, but some really don't like it, so you got to be very careful with what you do with your camera, which is fair enough. Imagine a bunch of foreign looking people walking around filming you in North Korea, which doesn't get many foreigners, so I can imagine it can be quite daunting. But yeah, just to see all these people, you know, going for a walk and fishing and riding bikes, it was truly something special that I'll never forget. Alright guys, so what a special day that was. That was probably one of my favourite days so far here in the DPRK. It was a bit more laid back in the afternoon compared to the previous days. It was fun just going out onto that little floating island, jumping off the high diving board with all the crew, and then going for the walk along that pier. You saw those shots just now. So cool to see like that local life. You know, it's so interesting, this country, you know, because it's hardly affected by the outside world. You don't see anybody walking down the street with a phone in their hand. It's just not a thing here. It kind of feels like a musical in a way, you know, no words really. I just want to show you this little clip that I got from down on the beach. These ladies were just hanging out, dancing, and there was 3 of us just watching them they looked up and saw us and started waving, and you know, we were clapping, and it was really nice. Check out this clip of these ladies.
It's so elegant. Bravo!
Do we want to come with you?
Hey!
So pretty cool, as you can see there. Anyway guys, I'm going to finish the video there. We're going down for dinner soon, going to a restaurant. I'm not going to film that because I've shown you a lot of the food already. It's kind of similar each time. Delicious. Tomorrow we are going to the mountains and we're going hiking. So, like I say every day, don't know what to expect. Probably going to get my mind blown again. Loving this trip. A few days left yet. Stay tuned. And if you want to go back and check out any of my other North Korea videos, if you haven't seen them, I've got like a whole heap and there's still more to come. It's all linked below. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from North Korea.